We are 1 week away from Thanksgiving. Last week we did a turkey breast video, so today I'm going to show you guys my way of cooking a delicious, juicy, flavorful whole turkey for your Thanksgiving dinner. Just like last time, I'm using a regular grocery store turkey. This is a butterball, little butterball. This guy's about 10 pounds, so nothing too big. And again, the point here is to show you that you can make a delicious, juicy turkey without spending a whole lot of money on some of these fancier turkeys. Not to take anything away from those, but you can still get awesome results with a regular grocery store turkey. And size-wise, this 10-pound turkey is still gonna feed about 8 people. So keep that in mind when you're shopping for your bird, depending how many people you're gonna have at your house or how many leftovers you want. You don't need to go too big because it's also gonna cut down on the cooking time and will be much easier to cook than a larger turkey. I'm gonna start by preparing my brine. So I'm gonna brine this turkey overnight to get maximum results. Now, the point of a brine is to impart flavor and moisture inside the meat. So we're starting with 1 gallon of cold water. I'm gonna add a ½ cup of brown sugar. And before we add other ingredients, you just wanna stir this around until the sugar is dissolved. To our sugar water, we're going to add 1 cup of kosher salt. There we go. So that's usually the ratio for my turkey brines is for every gallon of water, it's 1 cup of salt and a ½ cup of brown sugar. The salt and sugar are dissolved and this brine is ready to go. So this is a basic brine and you don't really need much else than this. This is enough to impart that additional moisture and saltiness into poultry, turkey, chicken, whatever you're making. But we're gonna spice it up just a little bit. I'm gonna add some citrus into the mix to add some additional flavor into our brine. I've got some limes, lemons, and orange, rosemary, and thyme. I'm gonna add all this into our brine to really make our turkey delicious. First up, I've got an orange. So what I like to do with my citrus, just cut it right down in half, squeeze the juice into the brine, and then we'll drop these right into the water. Limes are next. Squeeze the juice and drop the limes in. Finally, I've got this ginormous lemon. Don't worry about the seeds or any of that. It's just going into the brine, so it's perfectly fine. And finally, I'm gonna throw in a sprig of rosemary and thyme. And this, by the way, smells so good with those oranges, the limes, the lemon. So we'll add some fresh herbs, more rosemary. And again, just kind of mix it all up. Almost forgot one last thing. We're also gonna add a handful of whole peppercorns just to balance it out, give it a little bit of a kick. Mix it up. And now we are done with our brine. Next up, let's get our turkey into the brine. Take this out of this netting. This is a really nice sized turkey. I like making these smaller ones because they cook quicker, they're easier to make, they stay juicier. Unless you're really feeding a crowd, these are perfect. Oh, wow, look at that. Yeah, this thing's got a whole lot of turkey juice inside. I'm gonna remove all these innards. Gravy packet, won't need any of this. And make sure your turkey's thawed out. So if you're watching this video now, drop your turkey in the fridge a couple days before. See, there's still a little bit of ice in ours. If you try to brine a frozen turkey, it's not really going to work. So give it enough time to defrost in your fridge. Okay, this is looking nice. We're gonna leave it as is, so no trim work needed. It's like a big chicken, basically. Look at this guy. Ah! In our brine it goes. Rotate it. Want to make sure that the breasts, especially the breasts, are submerged. That's the part that always tends to dry out. Fine, you can add a little bit more water. It's pretty much just the backbone that's sticking out, so I'm not too worried about it. So no, this is gonna go in the fridge overnight to brine, so about 12 hours or so. You don't really want to go over, 24 hours at most, because otherwise it's gonna absorb too much of the salty water, and the turkey, the meat, is going to be too salty. Overnight is best, so prep this on Wednesday evening. Drop it in your fridge overnight, and then on Thursday morning, take it out and it's ready to go. And we've got one here ready to go that I prepped the night before. So this is what it looks like out of the brine. Ooh, want to drain as much of that brine out into your container. All right, so this guy was in the brine overnight, about 12 hours or so. I'm gonna bring him inside and thoroughly rinse it off. I don't want all the salty water sitting on the outside. It already penetrated into the meat, so I don't need any more to be on the outside because we're still gonna season it, which is gonna add more flavor, and I don't want this thing to be too salty. I'm gonna bring this inside, rinse it off, and I'll be right back. All right, Turkey is rinsed off, so the next step is to pat it dry. Get your paper towels and just pat dry the outside and the inside. So we're doing this to help get the skin get nice and crispy while this thing is on the grill. Turkey is dry, and now I'm gonna season it. But before I do, I'm gonna hit it with a little Pam cooking spray. Now you can use really anything. I've done this with butter. You can use a little mayo on the outside. The main thing is to apply a fat or an oil on the outside, which is gonna help the skin crisp up and turn a beautiful golden brown on the grill. And then just give it a light spray. This will also help the seasoning stick, and it will brown up beautifully while our turkey is cooking. Okay, that's looking good. Now for the seasoning, I'm gonna go with the same that I used on my turkey breast, which turned out great. And that's my steak seasoning and my all-purpose rub combo. The steak seasoning has those nice buttery, herby flavors, and the all-purpose rub has that salt, pepper, garlic, and that beautiful color. So our turkey is not only gonna taste great, but it's also gonna look awesome once it's finished. First, I'm gonna go with my steak rub. So I'm gonna season inside the cavity first, and then we'll go with a light coating on the outside. You can see the herbs and spices in my seasoning. This stuff is great on steak, but it's also awesome on poultry. Flip it over, get the legs, get the drumsticks. Okay, that is looking pretty good. So now we're gonna go with the all-purpose rub. You don't wanna go super heavy with the all-purpose rub, just a light coating, again, to help add some beautiful color. It's a little tricky seasoning this whole bird, but just kind of do your best. Make sure every part of it is seasoned up. Next, I'm going to put my turkey on my roasting rack. Now, because this is a smaller size turkey, I'm using this small foil pan with a small rack on the inside, but you can use a larger roasting rack if you're cooking a full-size turkey or a bigger one. And just place this right in the center and get this out of the way. Okay, one last step before our bird goes on the grill, and that is the citrus filling. Not really a stuffing, I'm just putting these aromatics inside to help with the flavor. So I've got some oranges, limes, lemon, carrots, onion, more rosemary and thyme, some celery, similar ingredients to what we had in the brine. And I'm just gonna add these right inside the cavity to provide, again, aromatics, a beautiful flavor from the inside while the turkey is on the grill. Also a couple cloves of garlic. Put whatever is left over right into your roasting pan or on your roasting rack. This will all add flavor while the turkey is on the grill. Turkey is seasoned, stuffed, prepped, and ready to go, and this thing is looking and smelling great as is. So I'm gonna get this on my big green egg at about 350 to 375 degrees. That higher temperature is gonna help that skin crisp up. And I'm gonna cook it until the internal temperature in the breast reaches about 160 degrees. And I'm gonna pull it off, let it rest, and it should be perfect. Main thing to keep in mind, whether your turkey was brined or not brined, is to not overcook it, because that's what's gonna dry it out. So cook it to the right internal temperature, and it's going to be perfect every single time. All right, so the big green egg is cruising at about 375 degrees. Indirect heat, so I'm going to put my turkey right in the center, and I'm also going to insert a temperature probe into the thickest part of the breast to monitor those internal temperatures. It goes right there, right into the thick part. Close the lid and let this guy cook. And again, I'm going to leave it as is and come back and check on it once it hits that 160 internal temperature. Pull it off, rest it, and it's going to be perfect. Turkey's been on for about 2.5 hours, and it just hit 160 in the breast. Let's take a look at it and see how we are looking. Wow, this thing is looking great. Look at this beautiful color on the outside. That skin got nice and crispy. You can see the rub on the outside there. So now I'm gonna pull this off the grill, loosely cover it with foil, and let it rest for about 20 minutes. This is a very important step in your turkey. This is gonna allow it to kind of stop the cooking process. The juices will redistribute inside, and then it's gonna be ready. All right, our turkey has rested. I put it on this nice little plate, garnished with some more orange, lemons, limes, some fresh herbs. And check this thing out. It looks, look at that. This thing looks amazing. You put this on your Thanksgiving table, and yeah, it is a showstopper. So cool. So finally we can carve our turkey and dig right in. There's a couple different ways you can do it. I'm gonna start with the drumstick. Those are my favorite part. Gonna cut this piece of skin that has the drumstick bones tucked in, peel that back, and now just cut alongside the seam. Oh man, this skin is so crispy. And you can see where the bones connect, and it'll just separate naturally on its own. Look at this. Wow. Now that is a beautiful drumstick. Super juicy. Little smoke ring on the outside. I like that. Well, let's dig right in and see how we did. Wow. That skin is super crispy. You get hit with that barbecue seasoning, that steak rub, little smokiness, super juicy and just so very tender. Oh yeah. And look, it just kind of falls apart on its own. You can just, this is perfect. Oh yeah. I mean, look at this. It just speaks for itself. It is just leaking from where we took the drumstick out. Let's cut right into the breast. Move this wing out of the way. And we're just gonna dig right in and see how this thing is looking. Oh yeah. Wow, look at that. Not sure how well you can see. Let me cut this piece off. Ooh, that is still super hot. Look. Look at that breast. Easy 12-hour brine, cooked at the right temperature, and your breast is juicy, tender. Let's try it out. Little breast, little crispy skin. Oh yeah, that is absolutely perfect turkey. Gotta give it a little bit to Jax. Here you go, buddy. Try a little turkey. Yeah, you like it? I think he likes it. There's not really many things that he doesn't like, so yeah, good? You want more, don't you? All right, maybe later. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. If you guys like what I'm doing, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to get all the notifications. I will hang out here, eat a little bit more of my Thanksgiving turkey, and I will see you next time. Here, one more. There you go. Oh yeah.